Hi friends, hello. My name is Attorney Marina Shepelsky. I'm an immigration attorney in the United States for the last 20 years. Our office is in New York City, but we practice immigration law in pretty much all the 50 states. This is my second live today, which tells you there's two major news that have to do with immigration in the news on the internet today, and I wanted to make sure to bring it to you guys because you've been my followers, my subscribers. You guys follow everything that I do, and to thank you, I always try to bring the latest news to you as soon as they happen. So the biggest news today, number one, I already discussed in an earlier video, and you can check it out in my lives on my channel here, was about the new rule that U.S. immigration will require new applicants for green cards and immigrant visas to do vaccination for COVID-19. All the doses will have to be completed prior to filing for a green card or immigrant visa, medical. So before the doctor, the designated doctor, can even sign your medical, they will ask you to have proof of both doses, full dosage of the COVID-19 vaccination, just like they ask already for other vaccines, and you'll need to have proof of that. Okay, so that was news number one. I discussed it already. Watch my other video. You can see everything that I discussed, and the news is all over the internet. You can Google USCIS COVID-19 vaccine mandate. So that's number one. What I'm actually interested in discussing in this live video is a big progress that the pathway to citizenship, or some people call it amnesty, made in going through the House Judiciary Committee. We were all waiting for something to happen with this amnesty, with the Judicial Committee, because the Democrats have been pushing under President Biden's direction for some kind of a help, some kind of a legalization for undocumented immigrants from the day that President Biden took office in January this year, right? So they've been talking. Now comes the time when they have to pass the budget reconciliation bill. So that's a law that has to do with the budget of the country for the next year. And politicians and all kinds of people, including economists, have pushed to make this immigration amnesty or pathway to citizenship part of this financial bill. And even though it doesn't sound like it makes sense, like they're not related, the House Judiciary Committee, that's a special committee having been made up of congressmen and senators that decide legal questions. Judiciary means legal questions. They have jurisdiction over immigration, and they have agreed and have done a print, like a proposal, of the kind of people they plan to legalize with this immigration amnesty. They finally voted on it on September 13th, and more than half voted to do it. 25-19 was the vote, and they agreed to go forward with this bill. So it's going to get voted on for sure, okay? So for now, it's not yet a law, but it's a proposal. They're working on voting on this new law, and I'm going to tell you all the details right now. So first of all, they said with the new amnesty, they will create a way to legalize, probably some new USCIS form will be released, and a new fee. So people who are legalizing this way will each have to pay at least $1,500 per person to legalize under this new law, okay? So, people filing for an employment visa, people who have been waiting for like PERM or some other employment-based green card category and have a priority date that's more than 2 years before, will be able to get a green card and adjust to permanent residence without any numerical limits, no quotas anymore, but they will have to pay a supplemental fee or a penalty of $5,000. And I have news for you. Many people would be willing to pay $5,000 for a green card based on their job. If they've been waiting for more than 2 years and all their documents are in order, they'll be happy to pay it and move on. Immigrant investors can get a visa, and they will have to pay a $50,000 penalty. okay? So this is going to be like a money-making thing for USCIS, and I think people will be willing to pay it. For an investor, it's not like a huge amount of money. It's a lot, but it's not like tremendous. And this is, of course, for immigrant investors category. Because the provisions are expiring of 2031, so that's category that has to do with people who are investing money in the U.S. economy. They're buying a business and getting a green card through that. For a family-based immigrant sponsored by a U.S. citizen with a priority date that is more than 2 years before, so those are people who've been waiting for at least 2 years, pretty much, from filing, the fee for getting a green card will be $2,500. And this has to do with U.S. citizens filing for brothers and sisters, U.S. citizens filing for married kids, U.S. citizens who filed for single kids over 21. They will have to pay a fee of $2,500. Now, there will be a supplemental fee of $1,500 if the applicant's priority date is not within 2 years, but they are required, I'm reading from my screen to be correct, they're required to be present in the United States according to the committee print, okay? So they have to be in the United States as of January 2021. Now, some negatives. This bill does not contain any permanent structural fixes for our immigration system. It doesn't say anything about how to fix the crazy delays and all the long waiting times that a lot of people are experiencing right now. It doesn't eliminate country caps for green cards or increasing the annual quotas for H-1B visas. Now, before becoming law, it already passed the Judiciary Committee. The next stop for this bill for immigration is going to be the House of Representatives, then the Senate. They each have to approve it by majority. And the final step, which I don't think is going to be a problem, is it has to be signed by President Biden. If this plan is successful, this legislation plan would allow undocumented immigrants who came to U.S. as kids as temporary protected status beneficiaries, farm workers, and other pandemic-era essential workers also to apply for green card status. So this is great news, I think, because this is a pretty big category of people who will be eligible, although it's not going to be like every single person who's undocumented. I think that's pretty much it that I wanted to discuss for today. I will be able to answer your questions right now, and I'm gonna check them out right this minute by going to my YouTube studio dashboard and checking it out. Okay, let's look for my comments here. What do you know about the BIA? That's the Board of Immigration Appeals. My appeal has been outstanding for 3 years. USCIS put their paperwork through, and I'm still not able to read this comment. Let me see. Maybe I can see it on another place. Yes, so I'm seeing I have to turn off the sound. Okay, so okay, so first question that I started to read, and I'm going to finish it, is by Ronald. Okay, Ronald asked, what do I know about the BIA? His appeal has been outstanding for 3 years. USCIS put their paperwork through in September 2019. They say they have my appeal, but no more than that. The work authorization expired March 2020. BIA appeals are very long, and to wait for 3 or more years is normal, especially now because of COVID. I'm sorry, the only thing I can suggest is just to be a little patient and wait. And I know that's frustrating, and we're waiting on a lot of things, including BIA appeals at our office. Hi, says Marwan. He wants to ask a question. You can go ahead and ask the question, sure. Any news about the diversity lottery? Not really. We don't know what's happening with the people who supposedly won, but nothing has been announced about that. Thank you to the person who likes it when I explain everything. Thank you very much. And I'm going to post an article about it on our website too, because it's still like a little wishy-washy who they're planning to include. Like, who are essential workers? So there's a place where they define essential workers, and not just people who work in the medical field. And these are essential workers are going to be one category that the new amnesty supposedly will legalize, okay? So the essential workers will be people who are already working in the field of medicine, law enforcement, farm workers, anything with food industry, IT, infrastructure. So like truck drivers, anybody that works on roads, anybody that works with computers, all of those people will be considered essential workers and will be able to legalize, and that's good news. And I'm going to talk about that in my article, but I haven't done it yet, so stay tuned. Marvin is asking about people waiting in the embassy in Africa. Everybody's waiting. The embassies have said that they're going to have a tiered approach, like a multi-level approach, and they will start scheduling people for interviews again soon, and they have started to, actually. The first category is adoption kids. Second category is K-1 fiancé visa, spouses and kids of U.S. citizens. And the third category is all the other family categories, and diversity lottery people and work people. Anybody who's getting green card to work is tier 4, the last category. They're doing it already. They're scheduling a few from each tier each month. You just have to be patient and wait. We are getting clients scheduled. But the very first line tier is people who had interviews scheduled and canceled because of COVID. So they're bringing those first. I've been getting clients in that category. That's the end of my video, I think, for today, discussing the changes and the news that U.S. Congress Judiciary Committee passes the proposal, the print for Immigration Pathway to Citizenship. This is the first actual real news of something that's happened that gives us hope. So I'm hoping that you guys watch this video and come away with some hope of a good future. And one more comment before I go is, if I did Lyft driving 2020, can I qualify? I think you will. Let's wait to see if this happens. If it does happen, it's going to come out in March 2022, I think. And we'll see what happens. But I think driving is part of essential worker industry. I do believe so. Bye-bye, everyone. Shepelsky Law Group, which is my firm. Before I go, we do all kinds of immigration work. We do family cases, asylum. VAWA is my personal favorite kind of case that I do, which is working with people who are abused in a marriage to USCIS, to U.S. citizen or green card holder. Asylum, appeals to the BIA, appeals to USCIS, or motions to reopen or deny. If there's mistakes in your case, we'd love to help you no matter where you live, no matter where your relative is waiting for their interview or has to have an interview, we can help you. One last question from Marvin. He says, no, it's not from Marvin, it's Osei. Is US and Canada share data? Yes, they do share data. And that's it for today. Take care. Marvin says South Africa because he's finished IOM and vaccine already. He took it. You just have to wait. You just have to wait and be patient. Take care. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching till the end.